You with your little curly hair. Your little
Oh.
Superman. Your Superman little thing. Just give people a couple of minutes. Are you all right, Tom? Any news?
No news. I moved actually, but nothing.
Yes, your background looks a lot less complicated than it normally does.
Yeah, I have like a flat with a living room now and a bedroom which is separate from the living room and the kitchen.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm sharing it with someone, but it's
well, yeah, that's fine.
No, it's great.
Where are you now?
Now I'm in the 19th. I'm just below Bouchamont, the big park.
So you're good for if we come on the Eurostar, you can come and see us.
I can wave at you from the platform, sure.
Mm-hmm. Where were you before?
In the 11th before.
Lovely 11th, but you know, you want some space, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, I was lucky to have the situation I had, but 3.5 years I was ready for a change. So good.
You seemed that way, didn't you? Academically,
yeah. No, I think all my friends have been like, "Oh, great, good idea." So
it's either that or get a full face tattoo. I mean, it was going to be one or the other, wasn't it? You know, so you know, good. Nathan's going to do the face tattoo option.
I'm ready.
Good. I think Stuart was going to. I saw Stuart writing in the group, but I didn't see him appear. So, yeah, my head's elsewhere. My best friend is on holiday in Malta, and she's watching the news over there. And you know that antibiotic that really did me in? Some coroner is petitioning to try and have it banned. So, whilst you're happy that someone's got the same. No, you don't want someone to go through the same thing, but you're happy that someone recognises the horror of what you've been through. I'm a little bit like, oh my God. And I was just, as I was about to call you guys, 8:30, I was like, Sam had messaged me this. And I was like, I just need a cup of tea for 10 minutes just to not even think about it. So good. I'll wait till other people and more people are here before we do some photo work. So let's just try some translation stuff. Now, before we get going, I'd like to just do a little exercise in the group, homework group, you were told to watch, which is using the auxiliary infinitive. Yeah. So the trick that we're talking about is, so point number 1, if you've got a de or an après or a sans, you know, and then you needed to go into a form of the language which has an auxiliary infinitive. The trick you want to use is if you've got your past tense proper, so il a pris, for example, il a pris, il a pris. So as you're looking at me on camera, is that on the left? Yeah. So your subject pronoun becomes the word de or après or sans. Your auxiliary becomes avoir ou être. And your past participle will remain exactly the same. So, for example, il a pris will become après avoir pris, d'avoir pris, sans avoir pris. Il est parti will become après être parti, sans être parti, d'être parti. If you have any pronouns, so je me suis lavé, je me suis lavé, après m'être lavé, de m'être lavé, sans m'être lavé. If you have any auxiliary, if you have any adverbs, il s'est pas lavé, il s'est pas lavé, de ne pas s'être lavé. The adverb will move up front. Yeah? So I'm going to give you a sentence each, and you are going to repeat back to me the 3 possible options. So if I say, for example, il a pris, you're going to say, après avoir pris. There's no debate. Is it like après que, après avoir? Let's just assume it is. Like, let's assume it's the same person. So you're going to say après avoir pris, d'avoir pris, sans avoir pris. And then I'll get more and more complicated as we go through. So remember, the main goal is to turn whatever your auxiliary was into an infinitive, that your pronouns are going to stay in the same place. Claire,
Oui.
Vous avez mangé. Vous avez mangé. Could you give me the 3 versions, please?
Après vous.
Right.
No.
Listen. Pardon
No.
me. Vous avez mangé is your normal past tense. Your person that did it goes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And that will become the word après. That's it. Sans or what was the one I'm going to do today? De. Yeah. If you've got a vous which is a pronoun, so for example, je vous ai dit, by all means, Claire, keep the vous après vous avoir dit. Yeah, in other words, if it's the one that's having it done to it, keep it, Claire. If it's the one that's doing it, get rid of it, yeah? So, vous avez mangé. What are my 3 versions going to be, Claire?
Après avoir mangé.
Nice small consonants.
D'avoir mangé.
That was good. Après, just clean where the vowels going, but that was nice small consonants. Après avoir mangé. I've been bollocking the other group to get small consonants. That was really good. Après avoir mangé, small mouth. Give me the one with de and give me the one with sans.
D'avoir mangé.
Good. And that would be something like, I'm happy I ate. Je suis content d'avoir mangé. We all clear? Lovely. And give me the one without sans.
Sans avoir mangé.
So, it would be stupid for Luke to turn up and teach without having eaten, for example. No? All right. Good. Nathan, Stuart, just to remind you, we're looking at a system where, as explained in the videos that have gone up, you watch your past participle. Whatever your first word is, whatever the subject is, you will replace it with de, sans, or après. Your verb in the middle will then go into the infinitive form, and the one at the end will stay the same. So, Tom, can you do Je suis parti. Je suis parti. What would that be, please, with our 3 methods? So, je suis parti would become
après être parti.
Good.
D'être parti.
That's it. Or
sans partir. Sans être parti. Sorry.
Pardon me, I almost got to say the phrase, I need to shove my middle finger up you, but basically, I didn't even mean it in that way. Up you go. So, sans être parti. Let me hear it.
Sans être parti.
Good. So, for example, after leaving, Stuart made himself a coffee. Après être parti, Stuart s'est fait un café. He was happy he left. Il était content d'être parti. You know, without having left, you know, sans être parti, you know, whatever. These are just different versions that we'll need. Good. Nathan, vous êtes acheté un cadeau. Vous êtes acheté un cadeau. You bought yourself a present. Vous êtes acheté un cadeau. Vous êtes acheté un cadeau. What are they going to be my 3 options, please?
Après vous êtes acheté, sans vous être acheté, d'être
But do the information on the end, my love.
en cadeau. Après vous être acheté en cadeau, sans
Good.
vous être acheté en cadeau, d'être acheté en cadeau.
De vous être acheté un cadeau.
De vous être
That's
acheté
the
en
one you
cadeau.
guys forget. Remember, vous êtes acheté un cadeau. The first word will become de or sans or après. Your pronoun still remains there. In a minute, the only thing that's going to interrupt that will be the ne pas, de ne jamais, de ne rien. But for the moment, we've not gotten that far. So, vous êtes acheté. De vous être acheté. Now, let's be very clear. Me and te and nous and vous can be reflexive, reciprocal in the case of nous and vous, direct and indirect. So it's very possible, isn't it, people, to have après vous avoir, de vous avoir, sans vous avoir, or vous être, you know, de vous être. Do you see what I'm saying? Those ones can obviously go both ways. So you will get used to saying things like, well, let's do one for example. So if I said to Stuart, he resented me. Il, pronoun combo which will not move, m'en a voulu. Il m'en a voulu. In this sentence, we're comfortable knowing it's an avoir verb because the il to the vous, no, to the me, is not a reflexive relationship. Il m'en, sorry, apologise. Il me to there is not a reflexive relationship. So il m'en avoir voulu. Il m'en a voulu. Il m'en a voulu. Stuart, would you give me the three methods with après, son, and de that are going to acknowledge that sentence in the past? So il m'en a voulu. What are the three sentences I need, please? Or the three parts of sentences?
Not sure which one we have. Après. Demain.
So look at my hand. Il m'en a voulu. What happens to il? It becomes one of the replacement words. What happens to the pronouns?
They stay.
What happens to the a?
If it's avoir or.
That's it. So what's that going to? And then the past participle is going to be the same.
Après mon avoir voulu.
Lovely. Could you now do the same thing with on the words with the de and a hey Sarah and a Luke, get your shit in order. Sans, de, and avoir. Yeah, SDA. Okay, so could you do it for me with all three, Stuart?
Sans without sans.
So your original one was il m'en a voulu.
Mon avoir voulu.
Yeah. It's amazing he turned up at the meeting without having resented me for, you know, whatever. Fine, whatever. Yeah. So de m'en avoir voulu, he was sorry he'd resented me because he realized it wasn't my fault. Il était désolé de m'en avoir voulu. Yeah. Good. All right. Sarah, I'm going to go round once more so you can watch what's going on. Okay, this is where we're taking the sentence that we're doing in the past part, in the passé composé, and we're swapping the first word for a de, or a sans, or an avoir. We're keeping pronouns where they are, and the auxiliary needs to be popped into the infinitive. If you don't get it, it should have been here earlier. Off we go. Go around again. Tom. Same sentence. Je m'en suis voulu. Je m'en suis voulu. I resented myself. So il m'en a voulu. Je m'en suis voulu. What's that going to be in my three, please?
Après m'en être voulu.
Good. So the first word becomes après. So je m'en suis voulu. Après m'en être voulu. Keep going.
De m'en être voulu.
Lovely. I was silly to have resented myself. Notice in English you will present this in both ways. You might say, I was so stupid that I resented myself for all those years. I was annoyed with myself for all those years. Or I was so silly to have been annoyed with myself for all those years. Notice English will give you both versions, people, yeah? Lovely. And what's the other one, Tom?
Sans m'en être voulu.
Sans, not sans.
Sans m'en être voulu.
All right. Let's bring in something trickier. Vous avez bu. Clearly, all of you, you know, inebriated. Vous avez pas bu. I needed something to go between the fingers. You're lucky it is a finger. The other day in Chris's class, it was a tongue. And given the lateness of the hour, it could have been something else. Vous avez pas bu. Vous n'avez pas bu. Obviously, if we wanted to write this down grammatically. Vous avez pas bu. I don't know what Lynn is wearing, but it looks 10 times more comfortable than what I'm wearing. It looks lovely and floral and nice and feminine, but also summer appropriate. Stuart, you do very well to keep her on staff. Vous avez pas bu. Vous avez pas bu. Now notice then, so if we did our normal system, okay, après avoir bu, we're going to need for the de ne pas. So in other words, this first one, so vous avez bu, de ne pas avoir bu. Whilst it's not grammatically impossible to say after not having done this, I felt better, it's not impossible to do that, but it's just not that common. I'm sorry I didn't drink. Je suis désolé de ne pas avoir bu. The without is obviously itself negative. Without not having drunk, sans ne pas en avoir bu. Rarer. I mean, I just want to hear the de for these ones. Yeah, I just want to hear the de. All right. So, or not. I'll see which the example gives. So let's come to Nathan. Tu t'es jamais lavé. Nathan, tu t'es jamais lavé. Tu t'es jamais lavé.
De ne jamais t'être lavé.
Tu t'es. So where's the pronoun? In tu.
Before être.
Yeah. So just because you're all excited and proud to have gone ne jamais, well done, well done, well done, well done, don't forget the fact that you've still got to have a to ne jamais t'être lavé. Yeah. And at this level now, if you're closing your mouth and you're speaking properly at my level, my kind of class, you're going to get a shit ton of muscle memory. And there are muscle memory verbs where you'll say de ne jamais être parti, for example. If you've got a pronoun, the pronoun needs to stay there. All right. So I was happy. So you were happy to have never gotten washed. What would that be? Tu étais content de ne jamais t'être lavé, for example. Yeah. All right. Claire, attempt one. He didn't buy himself one. Any, let's say any. Il s'en, which ain't going anywhere. A pas acheté. Il s'en est pas acheté. Just do that for me with the de, Claire. What's that going to be? De. So the trick here is to think what that adverb was needs to go after the de. Pronouns are still going to stay the same. An auxiliary change is going to be the same. So in other words, if I said il s'en est pas acheté, s'en est pas, il s'en est pas, il s'en est pas acheté. That's difficult with ciproflox intendants, let me fucking tell you. Il s'en est pas acheté. So in other words, Claire, what's the il going to become?
Après or sans
no,
or
because on this one we're just doing the de, remember? So the
just do.
Yeah, so that's going to become what? De.
Do.
Your adverb that was there has to move, so de ne.
Je ne sont pas achetés.
Hang on, listen. So you had so what else are we acknowledging? We're acknowledging that often orally we won't always mention the no, will we? Yeah.
No.
But we're acknowledging that with this de version, it's much better French to get the ne and the pas in together. I know this looks a bit like a proper talk class, but you know, I had a pen earlier. God, I look like such a teacher. It wasn't a red one though, don't worry. See me. Wear something sexy. Smell nice. My mind is only on one person, don't worry. So basically, and he knows it. So de, so the pas, yeah, that's our next port of call. So de, so we had a pas, so that's going to be de ne.
Je ne pas.
Good, and we're acknowledging, we people, that needs to be doubled up, ne pas together. So So, il s'en est pas acheté. He didn't buy himself any. De ne pas. Then what comes next?
Son.
Then what's going to happen to my A in the infinitive?
Avoir.
If it's son, automatically.
Oh, être.
That's it. So number one, it's because you heard it earlier. I totally acknowledge people that A, EST and A, AI confuse you. But if it's son, S apostrophe EN, auto-freaking-matically, Claire, is it going to be avoir or être in the middle?
Être.
Always, Claire Bear, always. Tom, you look really challenged by that. You look really like, you either look like that was a massive light bulb moment with son, or you look really, really like.
It was because I was
Was it a light bulb
I
moment?
was hearing A as the letter A, which was really stupid.
Yes, so was I.
That's right. I know. I'm full of pearls of wisdom / bullshit. So yeah, but son will be always, or ce, or si. It's always going to be reflexive, isn't it? Good, lovely. So in other words, Claire, say it for me again. So il s'en est pas acheté. Give me the diversion. De
ne pas s'en être acheté.
That's big girl French. Yeah. He's happy he didn't buy himself one because it turned out they were bollocks. Yeah. Il était content de ne pas s'en être acheté. It's normal French. It's not like Baudelaire. You know. Lovely. Let's try Sarah with one. Il a rien acheté. He didn't buy anything. Il a rien acheté. What's it going to be with the il a rien acheté? What's that going to be with the de, Sarah?
De ne rien avoir acheté.
Good. De ne rien avoir acheté. Il a rien acheté. De ne rien avoir acheté. Yeah, he was sad to have not bought anything. Il était dégoûté de ne rien avoir acheté. Good. All right. Let's now see if you guys can go straight up. In the words of Paul Abdul, or Paul Abdul, as some people say. Oh my God, I've got that song in my head now. No one else here apart from Claire and Stuart maybe. Do you remember like, get up now, baby, do you really want to love with me forever? I'm old, I remember the 80s and the 90s. And the 70s. So basically, and Stuart's like the 60s, Claire's like, yeah. But the fact is, yeah, I find modern, like 20-somethings don't look back the way that when we were 17, 18, 19, I just spent my time listening to like 50s and 60s. Like if there was some cool black chick singing, I own that as a kind of LP, you know, like, you know, I love that regardless. And I sort of find the modern lot of kids don't look back. They're very much just right now. And it's like, oh no. Anyway, good. Yes. So I'm going to give you a straight up bit of complication and I'll ask you to translate it. It'll be the same model of what we've been doing without the past participle help. Agreed? But if you have a momentary panic, just take it into the oh yeah, okay. So, Nathan, I was sad that I wasn't able to buy myself any. Did you know that cocaine was buy one get one free for a bag in Marseille? It spilt loads on the side of the harbour. I was sad to have not gone and been able to get myself any. I was sad. Drugs are wrong and dumb. This is a joke. Please, does this need cocaine? Off you go. I was sad that I wasn't able to buy. I was sad that I wasn't able to buy myself any.
J'étais triste de ne rien avoir pu.
Say for me, I didn't. Now I've got to be careful here because I'm using a modal. How do you say? Well, let's do it two ways. That's always fun. Say for me, using the passé composé, say for me, I was able to buy myself some. I was able to buy myself some.
Je pouvais m'en
Stand
acheter.
still. Listen to Antiluki. Using the passé composé as we've been, using the passé composé, I was able to buy myself some.
J'ai pu m'en acheter.
Can we remind ourselves, pardon me interrupting you, when is was not a was, when it's an action, when it's a change, yeah? We've talked about that all the time, yeah? Poor old London always gets bombed in this example, doesn't it? London was bombed, Londres a été bombardé, agreed? When is was not a was, when it's an action, because English language does not have a simple past for the verb to be, yeah? When I saw my friend Phil, I was really happy. Like, it's a sudden change, do you know what I mean? Fine. It's not that I was happy doesn't exist, j'étais, but it's like it's referring to the change taking place. All right, up you go.
J'étais triste de...
No. We're not going there yet. Just give me the original. So j'ai pu. So I was able to buy myself. So what would that?
J'ai pu m'en acheter.
Now make that negative. I wasn't able to buy myself any.
J'ai pas pu m'en acheter.
Good. So in other words, j'ai pas pu. All you've now got to include in your de version is up as far as there, because anything that comes after j'ai pas pu is going to be in what form already, Nathan?
Oh, the
am I showing you? I mean, I'm a pro and shower, but am I showing you A, my length when I think about certain people? B, am I doing cat's cradle with wall? Or C, am I trying to show you the standard logic language learning sign for the infinitive?
The infinitive, yeah.
I'm glad, because the other two are a bit dodge. So basically, in other words, j'ai pas pu m'en acheter. We don't need to weave m'en acheter into any of our mess just yet, do we? So what would be I was sad of not being able to. So in other words, you're only dealing with, so do what we've just done already so far this lesson. J'ai pas pu. Forget the rest for the moment. What would that be after a de? J'ai pas pu. Use my system.
J'étais triste de
No.
pas...
Just after a de. Listen to Lukey. Just after a de. Just after the de. So j'ai pas pu. Just give me the half version with the de, like we've just been doing earlier. So de.
De ne pas avoir pu.
Thank you. Say it again. Run it through your mouth.
De ne pas avoir pu.
Lovely. Now bring in the other crap that went on the end, because it's a modal verb. Are we clear? We've got the vouloirs of this world, the devoirs, the pouvoirs, and anything that comes after them. Fine. Maman, j'étais triste de ne pas avoir pu m'en acheter. Off you go.
J'étais triste de ne pas avoir...
This is the point I'm making. Yeah. Have you just had the penny drop? You will want to go pronoun here. Agreed? Ne pas. Agreed? But is your pronoun referring to the pouvoir, or is it referring to the infinitive further down the line?
Yeah, the infinitive.
Aren't we doing a clever little bit of work? Aren't we? Good. God, anybody think we knew what we were doing? So off you go. So have another little go then, and remember to not. And that is even more tempting when the verb you are playing with is an A sounding verb, because you'll be used to hearing me plus whatever, right? Good. Off you go.
J'étais triste de ne pas avoir pu m'en acheter.
Now think it, feel it, and say it.
J'étais triste de ne pas avoir pu m'en acheter.
Ouais, j'étais triste de ne pas avoir pu m'en acheter. Okay, off you go. I was sad to not buy myself any, which should be even, would be different. What would that be?
J'étais triste de ne pas avoir...
Stand still. Say for me, I bought myself.
Je me suis acheté.
Straight away, your brain has been trained enough by me to know that that will go to être. So do you see that the training needs to catch up and know that here it will go to être? Are you with me? Yeah. Mm-hmm. If anybody doesn't understand any point, say just yell. I mean, I'll ignore you, but yell. So off you go. just so I can witness the pleasure of, you know. So off you go. So say for me, I bought myself.
Je me suis acheté.
Add on.
Je m'en suis acheté.
Add a pas.
Je m'en suis pas acheté.
Good. So je m'en suis pas acheté. Mon, suis, pas, acheté. Could you try and do that for me? J'étais triste de.
J'étais triste de ne pas m'en être acheté.
Are we all clear what just took place there? Yeah, that's normal. I was sad I couldn't buy myself. Oh, non, j'étais bien triste de ne pas pouvoir m'en acheter. J'étais bien triste de ne pas m'en être acheté. Different, aren't they? Yeah. I suppose it's similar to when you get used to saying things like, j'aurais dû. No, well, let's leave this with Tom. Tom, how would you say, because these are your faves, aren't they? How would you say, I should have left, using partir? I should have left.
J'aurais dû partir.
You said like you're trying to say jury, like jury service or something. Say for me, j'aurais dû
partir.
Good. Say for me, I could have left.
Je pouvais partir.
I could have. How many weeks have you spent on this?
J'aurais pu partir.
Good. Lovely. I would have left.
J'aurais parti.
Is there a modal in I would have left?
Is there a modal?
Is there a... Okay.
No.
Are there any verbs involved other than leaving in I would have left? I don't mean an auxiliary. I mean, are there any other verbs that give a mood, a feel to the sentence?
No.
Therefore, other than auxiliaries, do we need to dick around with any of the verbs?
No.
Therefore, would you please kindly say, I would have left?
J'aurais parti.
Stand still.
I'm sorry.
Say for me, I left, which is a sentence you might like to follow through with if you keep doing this. Say for me, I left.
Je suis parti.
Good. Why is it you all remember that? So can I remind you, would is a tense. Would have is a tense. It is number 4 on the top line, number 4 on the bottom line. Agreed? It doesn't have any extra pouvoirs or devoirs. Are we quite clear? Could, would, could, should sounds similar. They all sound the same thing. It's a great sound. It's a great song by Beverly Knight. Would, could, should. Yeah, change your mind. So basically, do you think they're going to be the same? J'aurais pu, j'aurais dû. What verb are you going to use for would? Nothing. The verb you've got already. So when you use a would, you go straight into your main verb. When you use a should and a could, your verb is always going to be, the main verb is always going to be an infinitive, isn't it? Because it's going to be bouncing on the end of pouvoir and devoir. Does that make sense, Tom?
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't. I mean, I was
So
getting.
in other words, if you've got a verb which uses etra, would have is saying come to me. Listen to Lukey's siren song, and it's luring you the fuck in, and it's basically saying like, you know, come to me and give me a jure, you know, because that's what you've heard a moment ago with the other stuff. But this isn't Ariel. This is Ursula pretending to be Ariel with the fucking voice thing on the shell. Yeah, because it's basically not Ariel. It's basically saying come here, but it isn't, because it is an etra verb. And far be it from me to use Disney and an Alan Menken song, to illustrate the point. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see why it lures you in? Yeah, because would have is just the freaking tense. Yeah, say for me, I have left. Say for me, I have left, Tom.
Je suis parti.
So you do not feel the need to say have there. You are comfortable using be. I would have is just a tense form of that. All right. Good. We've done a lot of grammar. Let's do some normal sentences to people. I'm just going to go and grab my gluten-free pass. My gluten-free pass. I'll go and get some something to eat. I'll be right back. And we're just going to do some normal translation with everybody going round and round and round. It might involve some clever shit, okay, on those two things. Tom, if I have to teach you would, could or should one more time, I will plough clippers down the middle and write property of logic language learning across the top. I will. I'll be right back. Ah.
Are we allowed to talk English or do we have to speak French?
I don't think he can get more disappointed with me, so I'm happy to speak English.
Don't worry, I was doing exactly the same thing.
Everyone? How are you doing?
I can never remember it's etre in the middle of those ones. When
That's,
yeah,
I can remember it in every other situation, but
when you've been saying, yeah, j'aurais pu, j'aurais dû, it's just natural to go j'aurais again, but yeah, it doesn't work, does it? Oh, it's a confusing language.
Claire, what time is it over there for you?
Oh, fucking early. At the moment, it's 6:20.
oh,
God.
My alarm goes off at 5:15.
Oh my gosh, you're a trooper.
I know. I think I am too. But I get up and feed the cat and then lock her outside so she doesn't crawl all over because she tries to, when she comes back, when I go back to bed, she comes back with me and then she wants to sit on my lap, or no, not on my lap, on my chest. It makes doing anything quite difficult. So she's locked out, much to her disgust. But yeah, so fucking early. Excuse my French.
Well, it's interesting because I always think about Tom and Nathan in France, and I think about like how late it is over there. I mean, right now it's 10:20, and you guys, a lot of times, you know, lessons don't finish up till after 11 o'clock your time, so you guys must be bombed.
Yeah, we should be out partying.
You should. You're young. Get out there. Well, I find I'm much better in the morning than at night. I can't concentrate at night.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Claire, two ways using se tromper and faire une erreur. Two ways, please. Tom is sorry he made a mistake. Tom is sorry he made a mistake. Using both se tromper the one time, please, and faire une erreur the other time.
Tom est...
Sorry, Tom est
D'accord? No. Désolé. Oh, sorry.
So you should be. So you shouldn't be. So Tom is sorry he made a mistake.
Tom est désolé. Il se trompé.
But pause.
Oh.
If I said, I am sorry, Claire is sick. Je suis désolé being a feeling. Je suis désolé que Claire, what's going to come after that? If sorry is an emotion, what's going to come after the que?
Oh, that wretched tense.
It isn't a wretched tense, it is a beloved mood, known as a subjunctive.
Oh,
yes?
mood.
Okay, lovely.
Yeah.
Some women are good at it. So basically, if you then have, that was a joke, YouTube, don't come after me. There's nothing moody than a gay, let me tell you. So basically, in other words, if it's the same bugger on either side of the que in a subjunctive, we don't like to do that, do we? We'd like to go to the de. Agreed?
All right. Yeah.
And is that something that we've just been playing with?
It is.
Lovely. So could you say for me using, so all right then, set yourself up, use the system, say for me using se tromper, say for me Tom made a mistake. Using se tromper, action past, stick in the passé composé, say for me Tom made a mistake. Tom?
Tom s'est trompé.
Mm-hmm. Tom s'est trompé. What's that going to be after de? De. So we get rid of Tom. What's it going to be after de? De.
De s'être trompé.
Spot on. Say it for me, Tom is sorry, plus the de, plus the work. Off you go.
Tom est désolé de se tromper.
De what?
De s'être trompé.
Because it's in the... That's right. That's it. Okay. Say for me, Tom made a mistake the other way, which is quite basic. Tom made a mistake. Tom a...
Tom a fait une erreur.
Using faire une erreur, yeah?
Tom a fait une erreur.
Tom a fait une erreur, yeah?
Tom fait une erreur.
Fait, my fingers are everywhere. Tom a fait, but not where they want to be, let me tell you. Tom a fait une erreur. Tom a fait une erreur. Tom a fait une erreur. So basically, all I've now got to do, so what's that going to be after de?
D'avoir fait une erreur.
Good. So say to me, Tom is sorry he made a mistake.
Tom est désolé d'avoir fait une erreur.
See how it works, people? So can we already see one great usage for the de work that we would do? All right, good. Lovely. Nathan. Luke, you look like something from a horror film, but your head is full of good ideas. Luke, you look like something from a horror film, but your head is full of good ideas.
Luc, tu sembles comme une chose...
Tu ressembles à. Remember, to look like is ressemble à. Ressemble à. Okay?
Luc, tu ressembles à quelque chose dans film d'horreur, mais ton tête est pleine de...
Ta tête, ou tu as la tête, or ta tête, feminine, yeah, is full of good ideas.
Ta tête est pleine de bonnes idées.
Plein doesn't exist. Do you mean plein or pleine? Which one do you mean?
Pleine.
Good. To remind you people, if the word full is being used as an adjective, like plenty, full, it's gender appropriate. Plein, pleine, it's plural appropriate. It's variable, as we say. Stuart's kitchen is full of whatever, because his son's over and his son always likes that. So Lynn went and bought a load of whatever, La cuisine de Stuart est pleine de... Fine. I don't know, let's say full of chocolate. She's gone and got his favourite candy bar. La cuisine de Stuart est pleine de chocolat. If I said plenty of chocolate, plein de chocolat. No male, no female, plural, just the standard plein. All right, good. So say that again for me then, Nathan.
Tu ressembles à quelque chose dans film d'horreur, mais ta tête... Dans film.
Do I need to make Tom make his sex noise on you?
Dans
film.
Go on. Dans film d'horreur, mais ta tête est pleine de bonnes idées.
Feminine, pleine, because it's full,
Pleine de bonnes idées. Pleine de bonnes idées.
Bonne idée ou bonnes idées?
Bonnes idées.
Good. Luke, tu ressembles à quelque chose d'un film d'horreur, mais ta tête est pleine de bonnes idées. Keep going. Think it, feel it, say it.
Luc, tu ressembles à quelque chose.
I sound like a drama teacher. What is your motivation? Think it, feel it, say it. As my ballet teacher used to say, once again, but with feeling. Off you go.
Luc, tu ressembles à quelque chose dans le film d'horreur, mais ta tête est pleine...
D'un, not d'un. D'un.
D'un.
Come.
Luc, tu ressembles à quelque chose d'un film d'horreur, mais ta tête est pleine de bonnes idées.
Good. Nathan, Tom, Kapoling anti-clockwise, clockwise once. Claire's done one. Sarah, it's important to practice it in the right way. You need to think about it. It's important to practice it in the right way. You need to think about it. Don't prepare, unmute, or I'll do the next person. Go.
Il est important de le pratiquer de la bonne manière.
Good. Prat like a prat, not prat. There ain't no prat. Il est important de le pratiquer de la bonne manière or de la bonne façon. Lovely. Notice the de people. Prat like a prat, not a prat. Okay. Pratique. We don't say pratique, c'est pratique. C'est bien pratique. Donc, il est important de le pratiquer de la bonne manière. You say for me, you need to think about it.
Tu dois y réfléchir.
No, I was just about to congratulate you and then you fucked it up. Tu dois y penser ou tu dois réfléchir tout court, as you say, tout court. Tout court. Yeah, you don't need anything to réfléchir. Tu dois réfléchir. Réfléchis bien. Tu ferais bien d'y penser, says a parent. Yeah. Or me to my number of slaves. Think about it. Réfléchis bien. Tu ferais bien d'y penser. You do well to think about it. Yeah. Penser needs an A and réfléchir doesn't. Laisse-moi réfléchir un instant. Laisse-moi y penser. Could you all just say that? Laisse-moi réfléchir, laisse-moi y penser. Go.
Laisse-moi réfléchir.
All of you. All of you.
Réfléchir,
Laisse-moi.
penser.
Thank you, Nathan, for doing it. Everybody else. Go on. I want a chorus, like the Kardashian chorus on Saturday Night Live. If you've not seen that, it's fucking amazing. Ready? Laisse-moi réfléchir, laisse-moi y penser. Mi. Laisse-moi réfléchir, laisse-moi y penser. Go on, all of you.
Laisse-moi réfléchir.
Laisse-moi réfléchir,
penser.
laisse-moi repenser.
What seventh level of hell cacophony of fucking noise is that? But yeah. But the point is, we got what we're saying. Yeah, réfléchir is to think about on its own. You need to go and think about it. Yeah? Don't have a word with yourself, go and think about it. Tu dois réfléchir. Yeah? You reflect is the thing. Good, lovely. Lovely, Sarah. Well done. The de was good. Lovely. Stuart. I realised after seeing him that Tom isn't in the same house. I realised after seeing him that Tom isn't in the same house. That is called fleeing the law. Off you go. I realised after seeing him that Tom isn't in the same house. You still mic, my love.
Oh, sorry.
That's it.
Je me rends compte.
Lovely accent, but I realised past tense.
Oh, realized. Je me suis rendu compte.
Good. After seeing him.
Après l'avoir vu.
Good. Après l'avoir vu, spot that we don't get to do the après. So whenever I've taught people, I've always said, make sure that you get après avoir, après être. Good. Nice trick. But when you've got a pronoun coming in, it'll interrupt that. So après l'avoir vu, good. But Tom isn't in the same place. Well done. Last bit.
Que Tom. Oh my God. Sorry.
Lynn sounds a little hoarse. Lynn sounds a little hoarse of throat. Yeah, up you go. That Tom isn't in the same place.
Que Tom soit pas.
Just because it's a cut does not a subjunctive make. Tom n'est pas.
Realize is not a okay.
Tom n'est pas in the same place.
Que Tom est pas.
Au même endroit. Au même endroit. Au même endroit.
Au même endroit. Okay.
Good. So put it together. Je me suis rendu compte qu'après l'avoir vu, again, ouais, je me suis rendu compte qu'après l'avoir vu, que Tom n'est pas au même endroit. So je me suis rendu compte qu'après l'avoir vu, que Tom n'est pas au même endroit. Have a little go. I realized that after seeing him, that Tom is in the same place.
Je me suis rendu compte après l'avoir vu que Tom est pas
au même endroit.
Au même endroit. Oh, at the same place.
Yeah. Look at the little cloud of dog that thinks it owns the place. What's the doggy's name, Stuart?
The dog's name is Shiro. It's Japanese for white.
Shiro.
Shiro. S-H-I-R-O.
S-H-I-R-O, yeah.
And this is a little girl. Okay.
Oh, baby.
This is my other little girl.
Oh, my God, look. Oh my gosh, the cutest face. Oh, she's working the bangs. She looks fabulous.
She is awesome at parroting. So she can speak English and Japanese. She's 2.5 years old, and if you say anything, she parrots, and it's beyond what an adult can do. If you say something in French, like, I don't know, can you say who do you say? Who is that? Can you say?
Do you want me to say something in French? You mean?
Say something in French. She's never spoken French.
Salut mon amour. Salut mon amour.
Can you say salut mon amour? No? Okay.
I'd react like that to my face as well, don't worry. I mentioned love and people run, let me tell you. That is what happened. Salut mon amour. Salut mon amour. Oh my gosh, she's exquisite. You should be very, very proud. And you lot should be ashamed that a child can parody and you parrot. That's what I keep telling you. Just work the way kids' brain works. People go, I wish I had a French upbringing. Just give yourself one now. Just listen rather than do the words. Good, Stuart. Very well, good. I'm glad she got to hear her grandpa do well as well.
She's not my real grandfather. I'm not her real grandfather. Her mother was, we took her mother in when her parents moved back to Japan when she was a teenager. And so we call her our granddaughter, but she's not biologically our granddaughter.
Is she emotionally your granddaughter?
Oh, yes, we love her.
Well, then do I give a shit about anything else?
No.
Is the person who's been the love of your life I apologize to the southern states because this might be an issue. Is the person who's been the love of your life biologically linked to you? Is Lynn biologically linked to you? Does your heart not adore her? What does that matter? No. Yeah, people get so funny about the adoption thing, and I'm just like, the person you walk down the aisle with or not, or whatever you want to do, the person who's the love of your life, I'd hope you weren't biologically linked to them. So why do people put that same precursor onto a child in an adult relationship? She's lovely. And when you've chosen somebody rather than made them, often the relationship's 10 times better because you don't have the same shit that pisses each other off. It's like you don't genetically have the same traits that wind each other up. You're like, yay! It works really well. Let me tell you. Good. Tom. Luke, those there are places where cousins marry. There are places where cousins marry.
Luc, il y a des endroits où des cousines se marient.
I know you want to see two women rolling in the mud, but not all cousins are female.
Où ces cousins se marient.
Cousins se marient. Yeah. Luc, il y a des endroits où des cousins se marient. Okay. Luc, il y a des endroits où des cousins se marient. Off you go.
Luc, il y a des endroits où ses cousins se marient.
I need accuracy. It's not a long sentence. I need palate down, teeth in. Luc, il y a des endroits où des cousins se marient. Oh non, mais dis donc, il y a quand même des endroits où les cousins se marient. I'm going to go with les for this one, because generally, il y a des endroits où so in this place, generally, cousins marry. Il y a des endroits où les cousins se marient.
Il y a des endroits où ses cousins se marient.
Sing for me, my angel of music, and keep your palate on your tongue. Il y a des endroits où les cousins se marient. Les cousins se marient. Il y a des endroits où les cousins se marient.
Il y a des endroits où ses cousins se marient.
I'm not hearing that in French. Il y a les endroits où les cousins. Il y a les endroits où des cousins se marient. Il y a les endroits où les cousins. Il y a des endroits où les cousins se marient.
Il y a des endroits où
les cousins se marient.
Il y a des endroits où ses cousins. Il y a des endroits où les cousins se marient.
You're going to practice that when your microphone goes off. I forget Jinx Monsoon. I forget who she was roasting. And she said something like, oh, this person has recently broken up with their partner and said to them, let's just be cousins, which I thought was really clever, as in like, let's just be friends. It was like, as in even before then they were cousins. I think that's really cool. I took an Uber the other day and the guy was like, oh, my parents are cousins. I was just like, okay. Good. Nathan, I remember.
Sorry, I have to split, but I'll pick up from the end and thank everyone.
That's cool. All right.
Ciao.
Lovely. Nathan, I remember working at a hospital, non-specific hospital. I'm not going to say where it is. I remember working at a hospital where the head of department lost her temper and told a woman to stop having children with her husband because they were cousins and the children had genetic problems. So I remember working in a hospital where the head of department, so don't memorize the words now, memorize the story. I remember working in a hospital where the head of department lost her temper and told the woman to, which she shouldn't do, told the woman to stop having children with her husband because he was a first cousin and the children had genetic problems. Tell me the story.
Je me souviens de travailler en hôpital.
Je me souviens d'avoir travaillé. Je me souviens d'avoir travaillé.
Je me souviens d'avoir travaillé en hôpital.
We've spoken about this before. Hospital is masculine, but you're never going to have au because it's à l'hôtel, à l'hôpital. And also, it won't even be this traditional au restaurant. It will be like, that said, if you say we're in a restaurant, you'd often say on est au resto, like as a phrase, but un resto, un hôpital. You know, off you go.
Je me souviens d'avoir travaillé en hôpital.
Good. Can I now just stop you? Now that we're doing all this auxiliary work, notice this, Claire, as well. We don't stress the auxiliary. Yeah, oui, alors moi, je me souviens d'avoir travaillé en hôpital. We don't stress the auxiliary. Yeah, off you go.
Je me souviens d'avoir travaillé en hôpital.
What is the word for a, Nathan, before I come for you with the clippers I'm coming for Tom for? I'm coming, that wasn't even in English. Before I come at you with the clippers, I'm coming at Tom with. Hey, English is hard. So off you go. Lovely. Un, not en. Off you go.
Je me souviens d'avoir travaillé en hôpital.
What Lucas just told you.
Je me souviens d'avoir travaillé en hôpital.
Pardon me interrupting. That means be interested in travailler. Oui, alors je me souviens d'avoir travaillé en hôpital. Ou, you know.
Je me souviens d'avoir travaillé en hôpital. La chef du département, elle s'en avoir marré. Elle a dit à une patiente.
Excuse me. What are we saying for she lost it? Can we just say the following? Elle s'est énervée.
Elle s'est énervée.
Elle a pété un plomb.
Elle a pété un plomb.
Elle a pété un câble.
Elle a pété un câble.
Lovely. The most common would be elle s'est énervée. Yeah, elle s'est énervée. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah. You used you know, se marrer. That's more like have a laugh. You know, and also if it was so, it would be extra anyway, wouldn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
I've had a really interesting message. Marrer, you know, because of like marrant, guys, like c'est marrant, c'est amusant. That's where that comes from, yeah. A guy I've been teaching French, you know, Chris from the group, Aussie Chris, fabulous little grammatician. Oh, that's fine. Oh, I thought he was coming to Europe. I was really, because he's like, hi Luke, got a call yesterday that the snow is on and accommodation is available. So I'm now off to the airport this morning, off to the slopes. No return booked yet, but probably not back and available till the 6th of July. Where? Lovely. He's a mad skier, that's why he wants to learn French. Good. Oui, alors moi je me souviens bien d'avoir travaillé en hôpital où le chef de département, la chef de département, parce que c'est une femme, s'est énervée et elle a dit à un patient, effectivement à la mère d'un patient, Madame, vous devrez arrêter d'avoir des enfants avec votre mari parce que c'est votre cousin et tous les enfants, ils ont des problèmes génétiques. Do you know what I mean? You know, so genetic news. Good. Stuart. Luke. She didn't have the right to criticize. She shouldn't have said it. She was absolutely right, the point she's making, but it's a line she shouldn't have crossed. So say for me, Luke, my brother used to work in Sheffield as a psychiatrist, and he used to tell me that in various parts of the city where certain communities were famous for dowry preserving marriages, where there used to be signs saying, if you marry your cousin, you will have disabled children. Like there's a sign saying, stop doing this. Good. In America, the equivalent would be, welcome to Kentucky. So it's like, so off you go. So say for me, Yeah, so Stuart, could you say for me, she shouldn't have done it, Luke. She didn't have the right. She shouldn't have done it, Luke. She didn't have the right.
Elle aurait pas dû le faire.
Gorgeous. Just link it together a little bit more with a smaller mouth and a bigger sing-song. Elle aurait pas dû le faire, but the French was flawless.
Elle aurait pas dû le faire.
So put your hand on your chest, and the vibration in the chest needs to be constant. Elle aurait pas dû le.
Elle aurait pas dû le faire.
That's gorgeous. It suits your voice nicely. You get to use that across the whole thing. Good. She didn't have the right. She didn't have the right.
Elle n'avait pas le droit.
Elle n'avait pas le droit. Now, can we all just say, I have to, je dois? Just say, je dois. All of you go, je dois.
Je dois.
All of you go, je dois. Let me hear it.
Je dois.
Je dois.
Je
dois.
Je dois.
Now can we hear a difference and say droit with some top of mouth scrape? Because otherwise it's the same word. And it's a little bit, it's quite charming in some situations. It's a little bit like, you know, somebody with that very gorgeous sort of Kenyan sort of like African accent was speaking in English. And it's very charming, but it's not quite right. Like, yes, my father has took to. It's a little bit like the equivalent of that in French. Je dois, moi je dois, but it's a little bit like that sound, which is lovely and authentic if you are from one of those countries. And if you're not, don't do it. So droit, not doigt. Yeah, droit. Yeah, le droit. Say for me on the right, droite. Say droite.
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 So we need the as opposed to the non. Yeah. So you might like to say doigt, trois, doigt, trois, doigt, trois. Off you go.
Doigt, trois. Doigt, trois. Doigt, trois.
Okay, one by one, you're going to say one to me, and I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to guess, but then you'll just lie to me. So Stuart, could you say the one with an R? Could you say the one with an R? Stuart, could you say the one with an R? Could you give me trois? Let me hear it.
Trois.
More R, trois.
Trois. Trois.
Remember to reverse a car out the garage and scrape it. Imagine you're standing on a bridge and you're going to go trois.
Trois.
That's nice. That's good. That's good. Claire, can you give me the one with an R as well, please?
Trois.
Nice. An R is fleeing from or fleeing towards a vowel. Rue, ur, rure. Yeah, you could do both. Ri, ir, rire. Yeah. Pour. Yeah, it's on the end of a vowel or at the beginning of a vowel, scraping the thing. The minute you try and make a ch its own sound, it becomes r and it becomes to the front of the teeth. It becomes to the front of the teeth. Speak English, you dimebar. It goes to the front of the teeth and it turns into the R from Spanish, which we don't want in a million years. Or then you get people that do both with me, like r or r. Yeah, like yeah. Good. Lovely. Sarah, can you say Luke, what were you eating? It looks disgusting. Luke, what were you eating? It looks disgusting.
Luc, qu'est-ce que tu mangeais? Ça a l'air dégoûtant.
Good, I'm liking that choice. Ça a l'air dégoûtant. Close your palate down. Good choice. Within the looks like family, we've got ressembler à, on dirait, one would say. Ça paraît, ça semble. You know, ça a l'air, whatever. Can I remind you that avoir l'air is a very clever phrase. It uses the gender of the thing you're talking about, not the gender of the word air. So if I said Claire seems happy, Claire a l'air contente. Elle a l'air, you know, Luke seems happy. Luke, il a l'air content. It's not the gender of air which counts, all right? Good. Good, Sarah. Do me another one, Sarah. It was my funny old pasta. My funny old pasta with 3 eggs for protein. I had a shitload of spinach at lunch. So for me, it was my funny old pasta with 3 eggs for protein.
C'était mon funny old pasta.
We've done funny old before. How would you say it was my pasta? How would you say it's my pasta?
C'était mon pasta. No, c'était pâtes. Mes pâtes.
Final answer?
C'était mes pâtes.
Good, because pâte singular is a different thing. Firstly, it's feminine, la pâte. That'd be like the pastry, you know, the mix. Les pâtes, P-A-T-T-E-S, are pause. Like Mimi Pâte en l'air from Moulin Rouge was the one that kicks her legs in the air and sings, you know, in the show, in the, you know, the one that in the movie sings is the girl that dances when he's like, rocks, you know, that girl all in the red. Australian, British trained, but an Australian ballet dancer, and singer, done Broadway. I'm sure she's done Chicago, on Broadway. So Mimi, so les pattes is like animal legs. Yeah, à 4 pattes on all 4s. Yeah, or Fridays, Nathan calls it. So basically, yeah, lovely. So so be careful. So les pâtes, plural, pasta. Funny old, we've spoken about before, drôle de, les drôles de pâtes. And remember, with some adjectives that precede the noun, you've got to remember the plurality and the gender has got to stay the same. Le même garçon, la même fille, les mêmes garçons, les mêmes filles. You've got to remember, and all of you have the tendency to say the mon, the le before an adjective which precedes. So be careful. So say for me, c'était mes drôles de pâtes, c'était mes drôles de pâtes, c'était mes drôles de pâtes.
C'était mes drôles de pâtes.
Lovely. With 3 eggs for protein.
Avec 3 œufs pour les protéines.
La protéine, for la protéine.
Protéine.
I'll hear you, whatever you say, even if you say it at light speed, to say it properly. La protéine.
La protéine.
Better, all right? Protein. Okay, good, lovely. Lovely, let's go around one more time and then we can chill. Claire. It must be difficult to not be able to eat what you want, Luke. It must be difficult to not be able to eat what you want.
Il doit, c'est difficile.
Lovely, so you've absolutely landed on the thing that we do. So if you think about it, to have to or must in English has 2 meanings. One is obligation, you must come, and one is supposition. Where's the bus? Oh, the bus must be late. Yeah, the same in French. You must come. Tu dois venir. Oh, the bus must be late. Oh, le bus doit être en retard. Where's Claire? Oh, the bus must have been late. Oh, le bus a dû être en retard. It wasn't the bus had to be late, otherwise they were going to kill everybody on board, like in Speed, where it can't go below whatever Keanu Reeves. Good. Yeah. No. It's just the same thing. So say for me, ça doit être, because it's like the concepts. Remember the verbal, when you have a verbal situation described, there's no gendered thing here. So ça. Oh, ça doit être difficile. Keep your teeth together, Claire, and just say ça doit être difficile. Ça doit être difficile.
Ça doit être difficile.
Nice. Very nice work. The vowel is coming forward. The consonants are discrete. Lush. Group 1 should be ashamed. Ça doit être difficile. Yeah, a little consonants. Ça doit être difficile. That was nice, Claire. Good. Ça doit être difficile. To not be able to eat. Now, this is de, but it's not going into the auxiliary version because it's ongoing now. And in a moment, we're going to say it must be difficult. It must have been difficult to not have been able to eat in the past. So we're going to do both versions. So could you please say for me, Claire, it must be difficult to not be able to eat with no auxiliaries, just straight up into it.
De ne pas pouvoir manger.
Gorgeous. Put the burger together. Well done. Oh, mais ça doit être difficile de ne pas pouvoir manger. How do we say all that you want? How do you say all that you want?
Ce que tu
Does
veux.
tout que exist? You've had this correction before. What comes after tout que? Tout ce que. There's
Tout
no
ce que.
such thing, people, as tout que, tout qui. Or tout don. It's always tout ce que, tout ce qui, tout ce dont. Yeah. Ok, ça doit être difficile de ne pas pouvoir manger tout ce qu'on veut. Ça doit, tout ce que tu veux. Luc, ça doit être difficile de ne pas pouvoir manger tout ce que tu veux. Have a go.
Ça doit être difficile de ne pas pouvoir manger tout ce que tu veux.
Aren't you making progress? That's bloody lovely. Well done. Good job. Marvelous. Lovely. And then I'd possibly throw in a j'imagine. Ouais, j'imagine. Ouais, tu vois, j'imagine, ça doit être bien difficile de ne pas pouvoir manger tout ce que tu veux, non? Good. Very nice, Claire. Sarah. No, Stuart, I'm going the other way. It must have been difficult to not have been able. Notice how in English we'll often do it that way around. To not have been able. It must have been difficult to have not been able to eat what you wanted. That sounds like Myra Rose from John. Positively bedeviled with meeting. It sounds like, if you've not seen Schitt's Creek, then that makes no sense. But anybody here seen Schitt's Creek? Anybody? No, go on. Yes, Stuart, well done. You haven't let me down. Yeah, it must have been difficult to have not been able, Myra, to have not been able what was it? Stephen in the group. Stephen's always good value for money. I always find Stephen really funny. Je le trouve bien amusant. And last week, Stephen's got a very lovely wife from Colombia, and I always joke that like he's outdone himself, and that he ordered her online. And I was making some joke about, and she's a very intelligent, educated, graduate person, but I always make jokes and say, Stephen, don't let her out of a cage. She'll run off. Do you know what I mean? She'll go, you know, like all of this business because she's a really good-looking one. And I said, Stephen, I keep telling you, you want one of those exploding collars like Richard Bachman in The Running Man. Do you know what I mean? And all this kind of stuff. It was like, do you remember those? Stuart, you presumably seen The Running Man. And whatever you throw at Stephen sarcasm-wise, if you want to listen to anybody's class, Nathan, Claire, watch Stephen's class, because no matter what sarcasm I throw at him to try and motivate him, he just fucking laughs. He's just like, oh. I'm like, stop finding my insults funny. He's just like, oh. I'm like, no, I'm insulting you. I'm trying to motivate you. I'm like, come on. And he just finds it so funny. He's like, how do you make so many cultural references? I'm like, gays just know how to do stuff. Do you know what I mean? So good. So Stuart, have a go then. So it must have been difficult to have not been able to eat what you wanted. A few tense changes. Same shit, different tenses.
Excuse me. I mean, okay. Ça a dû être difficile.
Good. The first bit is perfect. To have not been able,
de ne
like
pas,
we did earlier,
de ne pas
with auxiliary,
avoir pouvoir, avoir.
Good. So what form of pouvoir is going to come after avoir, Stuart? Automatically. Anything on the bottom line of pouvoir is going to have what on the end? De ne pas avoir.
Pou.
That's
No.
it. Pou.
Okay.
Pou. Yeah. Good. Okay. Eat what you wanted.
Manger ce que tu veux.
Wanted.
Oh, ce que tu voulais.
Lovely. Correct. Bloody well done. Oh, mais ça a dû être difficile de ne pas avoir pu manger ce que tu voulais. Let me say in French rather than think it out a bit grammatically. Oh putain, mais ça a dû être difficile, j'imagine, de ne pas avoir pu manger ce que tu voulais. We're into the big stuff now, aren't we? So have another little go. Just all I need from you guys is just to try and keep it together smoothly. Yeah, I don't need speed yet. Oh, mais j'imagine que ça a dû être difficile de ne pas avoir pu manger tout ce que tu voulais. Have another little go. Teeth together. Try and just keep it all linked and stuff. Yeah.
J'imagine.
Stuart, your hand on your chest so that I've got this vibration all the way through.
J'imagine que ça a dû être difficile de ne pas avoir pu tous
manger tout ce que
pour manger ce que
or everything which tout ce que
everything tout ce que tu veux.
You wanted.
Oh, tu voulais.
I think that's literally the most difficult sentence I've ever given a student. So well done. So can you go again? Well done. That was really well done. Can you go again and just keep a constant line of sound? And the only way to do it is to think it. J'imagine que ça a dû. That must have been. J'imagine que ça a dû. Look back. J'imagine que ça a dû être difficile de ne pas avoir pu. Look back again. De ne pas avoir pu manger ce que tu voulais. Have a go. Don't memorize the sounds. Think it. Mais j'imagine que ça a dû être. Sorry, that's to your right, isn't it? J'imagine que ça a dû être difficile de ne pas avoir pu manger tout ce que tu voulais. Have a go.
Okay. J'imagine que ça a dû être difficile de.
What I want from you is no vocal pause. J'imagine. You can go slowly as you want, fella. J'imagine que ça a dû être difficile. I want a constant noise that the untrained ear wouldn't know where one word has started and the next word has stopped.
J'imagine que ça a dû être difficile de ne pas avoir pu tout ce
manger.
Manger tout ce que tu voulais.
Lovely. Spot on. In academic circles, the amount of consonant you're using is fine. Just practice with a little bit less so when you're the man in the street, Stuart, as well, though. Oui, alors j'imagine que ça a dû être difficile de ne pas avoir pu manger tout ce que tu voulais à n'importe quel moment. Work on that a little bit, just so you got it for your listening. That was bloody well done. I'm going to end there because I just don't want to top that sentence. That was so freaking nice. That was really good. So I'm just going to press stop for linguistic purposes, and then we'll have a little chitsy chatsy. So if you've enjoyed the class, can you remember that we have a coffee link which will be attached underneath? I gladly drink a coffee or a bit of cake if you have a class with me on a Thursday. £7 for a coffee and a cake in Lowness, West Hampstead. So trust me, the coffee donations are massively appreciated. And as my neighbour Jill told me the other day, who you know, I'm really fond of her and I think the world of her, and she was just like I consume 4,000 calories a day at the moment to try and stay anything, and she just went, "Oh, Luke, you look like a bit underweight. You really need to eat." And I was just like, I'm trying. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing worse than when you've been trying to battle something and somebody says that and you're just like, thank you for making me feel really shit. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, I love her apart from that. So let me press stop. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed the class. If you found this useful, please remember, if you've just watched this randomly or you're watching this in the future, if you go and type auxiliaries into YouTube, Logic Language Learning space, there will be a matching video that would have gone up this week, which is Chris doing this technique explained from the beginning. If you're in the group and you want to see another video, Flo has done the same thing. Yeah, I thought it was enough for 2 people to do it, then you can all just copy the same stuff. Good, let me turn off the recording and then we'll have a chat. Bye guys, thank you for following.